and maybe more skirmish heavy, considering that you have a Matilda. You want to use that. You want to capitalize on that day in and day out in each and every lane. Because if you're not, you're just wasting the pick.
What could happen with the Matilda, though, as well, is to fix a less than ideal gold laner's mobility. Maybe they pick up a spicy gold laner here and then go from there.
I love the Iksha here, probably. Maybe a Leslie. These are picks that obviously are not as good. But that's a Bruno.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Not the spiciest.
Not the spiciest.
Not at all.
But they needed that damage. This is going to put a lot of pressure on the Haters of Vexana. Has only been used 5 times in MPL history, thrice in MPL PH Season 1, and twice in MPL PH Season 2.
Oh,
And
those
again,
are rookie numbers.
Yeah, and again, because of the changes to her, she's a really strong pick now.
That's right. In the recent patch, her second skill now comes out at a slower clip.
Yep.
And in comparison overseas, mind you, Vexana is #1 pick in MPL ID, even before today's broadcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Expect that number to go, just keep going up as the weeks progress.
Last pick here. A tankier roamer, another EXP, and it's still a Rafaela, of course.
Were you guys wondering?
This is 80% the same lineup from Game 1.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to say it. Even though the lineup on the side of TNC looks a lot different, Leo, in terms of philosophy, possibility in terms of who scales when, still very similar to game #1, it feels like.
Yes, but just the same, TNC can now do a little more. TNC now have more capabilities. Again, #1, I commend the fact that they have better wave clear now. It's so much easier for them to defend from inside the base. #2 is they have good vision. They have good re-engage compared to game 1, wherein if this is engaged, we got to take it. If not, we have to set it up all over again from a different angle. This time around, they can actually move. The CC very, very mobile. Matilda, mobility is her middle name. And just like that, I think TNC now don't have to force an early game domination. They can actually play it slow, play footsies with Minana Evos up until maybe after the 3rd turtle, and then see how far they can push the advantage if they start the game fast like they did in game 1.
Let's see if that will be the case here for these two teams. Game #2, TNC and Minana Evos. Will it be a slightly slower, more calculated TNC power spike? One factor I want to discuss here is that I feel like if Minana Evos will try to play this with how they tried to win game #1, it's going to be harder for a carry. Clint was perfect in that scenario. For the carry, it's not going to be that fun.
Yeah, it's going to be harder for the carry to dip in certain situations because
Yeah.
you kind of have to be all in if you're a carry. It's either all in or you don't really get your target.
Yeah.
So with a Clint, you just throw out your skill, you're good to go. You can dip out.
Yeah. That range that he has there
Whoa.
is stunning.
Ow! Man.
Pressure. Oh.
That's pretty good. That's good damage here coming in. Obviously, that's exactly what you expect from Bruno. That's why we said it's not the most exciting early game, but it does the job.
Yep, Yasuo is going to win this lane matchup, I'd say, for the first 2 or 3 minutes, and only if spidermilez actually helps Doming, will Doming actually move on forward. So that's why Nomad is trying to close the gap, even the odds. It's so hard, especially since Doming's emblem set does not help him in the early game at all.
True, that's true.
Yeah, it really feels like it's built for the long game. Thinking about when everyone's just team fighting at this point. Taking it nice and slow are these two teams, but as expected, Nomad will be placing himself in slightly more aggressive positions, with him being able to escape. 20 seconds up until the next turtle. No clear advantage around the map just yet. Or am I missing something, Leo?
No, you're not wrong. I think it's in the little interactions, these little lane fights, wherein one will trump the other. And again, I mentioned that already with Yasuo and Doming. Down bottom, though, I'd say, unless they're underneath turret, Heads is actually winning this matchup against Kirk. So it's the same kind of dynamic from game 1. Maybe just changing the pace a little bit. It's TNC way ahead, actually being able to pick off fights when they want to this early on.
Yeah, they're going to pick up some fights here, and they are not shy about it. Kirk quite low here, but obviously the heavy spin already activated here by kzen. And the final slash just for safety in case maybe Ryzen decides to dash forward.
Yeah, that's good advantage built for TNC, the EX billionaire Minana Evos gun, but let's see if kzen can do what he's done before. Steal turtles in front of opponents as a Nakai.
Heavy spin is on cooldown here. This is going to be pretty massive. That might mean that they're going to have to back off, and TNC once more takes first turtle.
And that's going to be the score here for Ryzen. Easy pickings. Something to note, in that engagement down bottom, yes, on paper there were no kills, but again, mentioned, heavy spin, spent, flicker, spent, ult on Kirk, spent. sent home, made that turtle take all the more easier for TNC. That's a clear win, even without violence.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just really gotta go with the more peaceful route, you know?
Pacifist run.
The pacifist run, exactly.
Turtle won.
TNC. Let's see now. Nothing standing out of the items too crazy for me.
Yeah, nope, not really. If anything, I'm glad that kzen is farming up much faster than Ryzen. That just means he'll be able to get more farm if he doesn't join fights, which puts him in a weird position. It makes it hard for him to make decisions, and that allows for TNC to do just this. Nomad bother kzen, allows for the rest of the map to push on forward.
Nomad doing a pretty good job here as as his freshman year. Or freshman season. I mean, he's pretty much doing the job, making sure that all division, everyone from Minana is accounted for, and that, you know what, they can just keep farming up until a point where maybe they can fight back.
Again, he looks like a natural to me right now, how he's moving around the map. Not always the cleanest executions, but even we've seen veterans commit questionable engagements under turrets or under the opponent's base. Nomad, that was moving a lot of confidence, and again, I wonder how much factor the hatred factor brings to that in terms of like helping and guiding the young man.
It's all about communication, right? And I think Nomad's doing a pretty good job here. kzen, of course, doesn't really have the tools to fight this out. Same with spidermilez. So for the meantime, I think Minana's going to have to slow it down just a little bit more.
In the efforts of slowing it down, that allows for TNC to keep up the same pace. Again, it doesn't give anything for the Phoenix Army to switch it up, and they're comfortable, especially in the gold lane. Look at this, Yasuo 2v1ing this lane for the better part of the past 4 minutes. There's no threat of a kill on him, unless on bottom.
Yeah, hence he's going to be a bit more in trouble here with the Hurricane Dam. Then just activated though. That will be a good sign maybe, but not for long. Of course, Kirk ready here for the fight. kzen as well, no heavy spin. Let's see, and spidermilez close up. Will the heal make it? And it does, kind of, with Nomad trying to get one more auto attack in maybe, but will not make that target count. And there you go. Just to be safe, everyone just falling back. What a beautiful disengagement.
The frustration is setting in. So close,
yes,
but
he wants
not
it.
quite. Kirk is on a roll. He got 2 kills. It's these 2 for Minana Evos. That's all him.
Kirk.
3, all him.
Impressive performance from the EXP laner of Minana Evos. Questions if whether or not he could live up to the role that Lord JM once filled. Now a member of Bigatron Alpha in Indonesia, Kirk said, I can do it. And he has been doing it so far.
It's exactly where you expect him to be.
kzen,
Decision making it matter here. And again, it's just when he was about to get back, he gets thrown back into the base. And now Kirk might be in trouble here. Ryzen and Hatred close by. Is he still alive? Final Slash was still released, but there's no fight left, maybe, unless Lansing makes something happen. kzen's quite low.
Gotta run.
Oh, he's gonna have to run for it.
And
goes.
No way, no way.
Not gonna be enough quite yet, but there you go. Hatred with the last hit.
All right, clear punish by TNC. Minana Evos overstayed their welcome for a bit, but just the same, they closed the gap. Keeping it close to 2,000 could have definitely ballooned on over. But something to note, I think Hatred has to protect himself a little better. Nomad is now thinking, who do I protect in team fights? Who do I watch out for? Because earlier it was so much easier with a Minotaur. Now with a Matilda, it's a little more high stakes. He has to commit.
Yeah, he has to commit. He really has to be on point with communication with Heads and Ryzen. Maybe if he can somehow communicate with the Eternal Guard of the Vexana, he would try. But yeah, because of him committing, the backline peel just needs to be still present. TNC Pro Team.
Exactly, and it doesn't help that Heads is playing a CC. That can do very little to protect any backliners because you want to be on the front lines as a CC. So now TNC have to consolidate those 2 major issues. One thing to note though, Yasuo really haven't joined any major fights. You could say the same for Doming. So now I'm wondering, again, I'm thinking out loud here, who does this benefit? The fact that the gold laners have been cooking, and again now looking at the map, it looks like Doming's actually winning. Heavy spin out of nowhere?
Yeah, I think a lot of skills were triggered here. Kirk wants 4. Beautiful Fine Slash. Maybe make it a Hatred, but no cigar here. It's time to go into mode as we go to turtle number 3. Oh, there you go. kzen's actually low. He's going to have to make it out. He's going to have to make it out. spidermilez with the holy healing. Obviously going to make it. so that he doesn't go down, but once more, Turtle being given up.
All right, TNC scoring over there. Pandemonium all across the map, starting off with a weird moment already from kzen. I think he was looking for a sandwich.
Yeah.
Again, it was underneath tier 1 or close to tier 1 in mid. So now we're on top!
Oh, beautiful, man. That was just nothing here for Minana. And you know what? spidermilez is actually making the work, not just with healing, but with making sure that everyone is mobile enough to get to the target.
Yep, he's using his re-engage as a weapon, and it's very effective this time around. This is a kind of dynamic we did not see in game number 1, because again, TNC was so aggressive. Ryzen gets caught!
They don't want to slow down at all, getting one after another. Minana starting to feel it here. Eternal Guard can't really do much here for TNC at this point.
Yeah, 8 minutes into game 1, Minana Evos was trapped inside their own base. Now it's Minana Evos who's looking for fights.
And we thought it'd be a similar story to game number 1. Minana Evos. Let's see if they can continue this momentum, because right now TNC look out of position, mainly because they have to consider the fact that their gold laner Yasuo lost the lane duel against Domeng. He lost lane. He is behind. It's not a massive deficit, but at this point, Domeng's in a much better position to join the team more, while Yasuo still needs to find more time to get a little bit more farm on him.
Big +1 on that one.
To be a fly on the wall in that room, I don't know what happened in that gold lane. We haven't really checked in much, not much of an action there, but wait, down bottom, ho!
Yeah, TNC very happy to go for it. They know Kirk is the MVP. You know what? Take what you can, and TNC will remove the big final slash guy. kzen though working on that turret, maybe get some gold back, but that's a big no here. Hatred gonna make sure not gonna happen.
It's a scientific name for Arla, big final slash guy.
Big final slash guy.
BFSG.
The big final slash guy. Well, I mean, that's what Kirk wants in game number 1. I'm sure he'll be able to. He did a few of that already here in game number 2.
He's still him in game
Pretty
number
much.
2.
Yeah, he's still that guy. TNC Pro Team, Minana Evos, as we head into first Lord of the game. Let's see. Minana Evos first there. TNC are all over the map right now. It looks bad for them.
Look at this, Minana. They just know where to go. And beautiful heavy slash there, heavy spin for Ryzen.
Nomad!
Oh, Nomad! No one there to follow up. And again, Heads is not the tanky GC that you want to see right now. Hatred, maybe just count on a steal. Drill Guard though, beautiful hit on the spidermilez. Yasuo takes out Domeng as well. And Minana gonna be down 2 here.
The massive turn,
Wow.
and it took a while. I'd say in the form of a pump fake, because it looked like TNC were about to back off, and suddenly Hatred calls in the backup. It's still a 5v5, fam. Y'all forgot I got the Eternal Guard, and now with Ryzen making a beeline towards the Lord, it seems like TNC might score this first big objective.
TNC were basically acting like they were injured. Oh, I'm hurt. I can't fight.
Playing possum.
Playing possum right here, and then they go for the strike.
Yeah, call an ambulance, but not for me. Call the Lord, yes, for us. TNC now want Land C.
And see, he's gonna have to go to the very farthest stretches of the land of Dawn to make it out there, but he does at the end. And again, TNC just trying. You're gonna have to capitalize hard on this Lord. They have so much standing gold to take on the map.
Now, as we head into the first Lord part, TNC Pro Team, and looking at the instant replay, look at the beautiful 2-man knock up there by Hatred, and the trust TNC placed upon themselves to get a big win in that sequence. Most teams would probably say, let's back off, let's just try to get for pokes. TNC said, no, we will win this, we will force them out.
Yeah, I think they lost tabs on where Hatred was, and they did not expect the EG dropping where it did.
Yeah. It's not going to be easy when there's an EG out and 2 of you get knocked up. And just, I really thought that Minana Evos could have potentially came back from that. But they also respected the Bruno.
Well, that's exactly what you gotta do though. And look at that, all the standing gold taken already by TNC means that gold is almost dead even. What's to say about that?
I mean, this just means that the map is more than 50-50 now. If anything, TNC is in the lead. Look at that, they left Heads for like 10 seconds, and he pushed in top.
Yeah.
No, not good.
Definitely.
I think to talk a little bit about this. He has a desire on him. But his map was no one, and define that. That is not normal.
No, very specific. Big time approach that does what they did in that last fight. Hyped up in the bush, secure kills, and again, it's 8-minute mark, he can afford to do this. He can afford to build double roam. So with that said, Minana Evos now have to watch out for not just where Yasuo is, who was the cleanup crew in that last team fight. They also have to watch out where Hatred is. And again, it's just a matter of time before Heads is actually online. Heads needs items. Interestingly enough, CC is such a lethal hero in the current metagame, but she's not like a Terizla or an Arlott that can live on very low econ. She actually needs the items.
Very true. Bottom lane here, Minana Evos wants a little bit more pressure, a little bit more map control. TNC not going to give it to them. But now, both teams moving around as 4-5, covering close sectors to one another. No one really going for some crazy split pushes as much.
Yet.
Not yet, exactly.
Yeah, the kzen seems to be quite ready here to go if ever Ryzen or maybe Hatred makes a small misplay there. A heavy spin is very imminent. And don't forget, Kirk Final Slash is really scary at this point.
Key pickup on last game's MVP, Kirk here. He built an Oracle. Item was recently readjusted. It now also provides, in addition to the bonus healing, physical defense. So it's gonna matter against the likes of Heads, against Yasuo, and even Ryzen in some cases. But I'm liking it. Again, these little decisions that you're making to use in patch 1.8.66. Checking out where Heads is right now. Not exactly the Trinity I'm looking for. He has the Twilight Armor, has the War Axe, has the BFB, but I'm guessing one more item before he can actually start threatening 2v1s.
Yeah. And the damage that he can dish out. A little bit hybrid for my taste. I thought he'd go for a few more damage items.
Yeah, it's a little two-prong approach.
Yeah.
Right now, though, kzen forced out of a heavy spin.
Wow.
Still gets the Lord, though.
Very
Beautifully
good.
maneuvered there for the jungler of Minana.
Oh.
I like it. It's a pragmatic approach. I just use it to push you guys away. Enough time for me to retreat, and then we skedaddle.
Yeah, TNC Pro Team looked like they weren't fully on the same page in terms of how they wanted to approach that Lord contest.
Exactly. I think the early heavy spin threw them off. Like,
Wait,
what's
what?
Kzen?
Whoa.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh, dang it.
Love that. I love that.
What in tarnation?
And that's exactly what happens when you go, kind of half-baked against Minana.
Yeah.
They take you for everything you've got. And they took that Lord pretty much business as usual.
Now let's see if it will be business done for TNC in terms of defending this, or will Minana Evos somehow push an even bigger lead here? Going into 5K almost is their gold lead. Nancy gets the info.
Got a big dive in on the Lord, though. And again, mid lane turret is also a big threat.
Ryzen!
Quite close. Ryzen! He can't take it! Oh my goodness! He melted to the power here of this beautiful carry by Doming. There you go. Hatred as well going down. That's all the way clear going out here for TNC. That might be game already, but will Minana go for it? Straight for the juggler is going to be the key. Nomad trying to get as much damage as can on his body instead. But no clear means no way for them to slow him down. Yasuo, even with the kill, gives Minana Evos to 2-0.
That is a sweep. So this is what hope looks like for Minana Evos, starting off Season 13 with an emphatic